In this video, I'm showing you how you can get more done in less time as a musician. Right after this fancy intro. What's up guys, Brandon here from KDMR Music. If you're new to this channel, this is where we give you tips and tricks to help you succeed in the music business. So if you're interested in that type of content, please hit that red subscribe button that is on the screen right now. Now, one thing that all musicians that I've talked to can really benefit from is better time management. Most of the people that I talk to and consult with are not doing music full time just yet. And so every minute counts. When you've got a full-time job you've got to go to, when you've got a family to take care of, even if your job's only part-time, there are so many different activities that you have to complete as an independent musician. You've got to make your music. You've got to make sure it's mixed and mastered properly. You've got to make sure it's registered with the Copyright Office. You've got to do graphics and videos and social media posts, and the list goes on and on. And when you only have 2 to 4 hours a day to get all of that done, now you've got to do the same amount of work in half the time. So today I'm giving you a few tips to manage your time better so that you can get more done in less time. Now, the first tip I have for you guys is simply to follow a schedule. Now, I know you're a creative and your artwork can't be confined by the values of space and time, but listen, I don't care how mystic you get into your art, you still only have 24 hours in a day. And like I said, if you're working a full-time job, if you've got a family, if you have other commitments and priorities, I guarantee your music will take a back seat at some point. So, if you do not follow a schedule and schedule out time, block out a specific amount of time every day or every few days, whatever you can manage, then, again, you're not going to be able to go very far. So you need to do that. Now, a few ways to do that. You can, like I said, you can block out a little bit of time every day, maybe 2-3 hours. Or if you're, super committed, maybe you just block out every Saturday because you've got a full 8 hours to work with. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that method because that's a great way to get burnt out and feel like you're just trying to fill up a certain amount of time with a bunch of activities. So the second tip I have for you is to batch process. Now, batching is something that we refer to when it comes to content creation, which basically just means doing more than one thing at a time. So when you're a musician, there are so many different things that you have to do. Let's say you're a beat maker or a producer. Maybe you can spend 2 hours one day just going through snare drums and trimming out your folder. That way, when it's time for you to actually make a beat, it's easy for you to pick out sounds. Or maybe one day you're just going to work on training your voice. So you'll go on YouTube and look up vocal exercises, and that's all you'll do that day. But what that does is it helps you to get more done. Like if you take out 2 to 3 hours to do vocal exercises, as opposed to trying to do vocal exercises for about 15 minutes right before you decide to record a song, then your voice gets stronger. So then whenever it's time for you to record a song, you're more productive. And that's why batch processing is so powerful. Let's say you go out to take photos for your social media. Well, instead of every time you have to post to Instagram, you got to go outside, find a nice setting, think of a nice caption, and take a picture and then post it. Maybe one day, all you do is research captions for your Instagram. And then another day, you and a friend go out and take pictures in a bunch of different locations. And so you take all the pictures at one time. Now you've got 15, 16, 20 pictures. Well, that's enough for at least a week, maybe even 2 of Instagram posts. And you did all of that in just a couple of hours because you weren't fumbling around for each photo. And this is why I'm saying it's really important to batch process. That's one of those ways you can get a lot more done in the same amount of time because it's focused energy. So much of our time is spent kind of winding down and shutting down between the next process. Let's say I went and did all that work and picked out a snare. Now I've got to use a whole different part of my brain to access the musical knowledge to start playing melodies and notes. So That's why those things are helpful for you. Now, the last tip I have for you to manage your time better is to use automation tools. Now, automation sounds kind of crazy, like, what are we, like Skynet, Terminator? But no, that's not the point. With automation, it allows you to, set something once and kind of forget about it. For my social media, I use a tool called Meet Edgar. And what it does is it takes all of my content, whether it's a blog post, a YouTube video, whatever I put into it, and it sends it into a library to send out recurring tweets. Now, every time I make a new piece of content, I add it to the library on my Edgar tool. And then what I'm able to do is pick out a certain schedule because I put the content in categories. So at 8 a.m., maybe it'll post a blog post. At 10 a.m., maybe it'll post a motivational quote. At noon, it could post another YouTube video. So it picks from that category and it automatically rotates through all that content that's there. So now I don't have to spend a bunch of time on social media every day trying to figure out what I'm going to post. Instead, I can spend about an hour a day, maybe, on social media just replying to people or jumping into conversations where I can be helpful. So now I don't have to focus so much of my energy on what to post. I can focus on meaningful relationships that I want to build. And so that's why automation can be so powerful for you. Maybe for you, automation looks like setting up email autoresponders for your fans so that when they buy a certain product, you send a thank you email. Maybe automation looks like scheduling out your social media posts. Whatever that you can do to multiply yourself and not have to do something physically all the time, you should certainly do it. Just be careful that you don't use that or that you don't lose that human element. So those are my tips for time management. I apologize. My voice is going out, as you can probably tell. But hope this video helps. So if you like this video, again, hit that red subscribe button that's on the page. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.